From his youngest days, Leorius would bow to no man, beast, or monster. He was possessed of pride and independence so fierce it often proved maladaptive, but he could no more rein in his nature than he could stop a pride of lions from roaming. When he became a skinwalker, nothing changed.
The Skinwalker curse can strike at any time a mortal being takes the life of an animal, regardless of circumstance. Certain skinwalkers can also pass cursed animal souls into a victim. Leorius was struck by one such carrier, a feline skinwalker so laden with cursed souls as to be utterly feral. The skinwalker traveled with the pride of lions, who look after him as one of their own, and when Leorius came upon them, they wounded him, and he himself transformed into a lion-like, two-legged creature.
When Leorius recovered from the shock of gaining his new form, he resolved to lead a pride of his own, without losing himself to savagery. He became a mercenary leader, preferring to recruit skinwalkers with ferocious battle skill and who were ready to embrace the pack mentality he was cultivating. Leorius the Proud accepted only the most prestigious and highly paying contracts, never wasting the might of his warband on anything he considered beneath his dignity.
Success bred success, and recruits flocked to his banner. But he kept his organization small and rejected huge swaths of disappointed would-be warriors. His elite force was kept on call by barons, wizards, and burgermeisters all over East Central Anhalt. Even certain high priests of the Sacred Order were rumored to have called on him despite official injunctions against skinwalkers.
But then, from the west, came the war fleets of the Gallan Pact and armies of orcs, ogren, lizardmen, and skinwalkers poured across the land, eager to cause destruction and hungry for plunder. Overnight, Leorius found his band of mercenaries being strong-armed by a dozen different clients, each demanding his service in this time of desperate need, with payment to be deferred until the catastrophe subsided. Their sense of entitlement rankled his legendary pride.
Meanwhile, invading Gallians reached out to him. In particular, the Skinwalker armies saw him as a misguided potential convert to their cause. Playing on his vanity, they reminded him that he had been serving mere humans all along, feeding their corrupt war machine and solving their petty disputes. Instead, the Gallian skinwalkers offered him a chance to carve out his own domain under a new regime that would replace the rule of the Talarian League, and thus put an end to what they called centuries of decadence and cruelty.
But Leorius saw accepting the Gallans' offer as capitation. Just as the lords of the Talarian League were using the war as a chance to erode his long-guarded independence, the skinwalkers were trying to turn him into a manageable asset in the Burgundian state apparatus. Leorius was determined his path would always be guided by himself alone, and so he rejected all belligerents of the Gallan War.
He served only on his own whims and the demands of his personal honor, and protected his brothers and sisters in battle from both the forces of the Talarian League and the Gallian warclave. None would die pointlessly in this war because Leorius himself was pressured into taking one side or another.
Perhaps Leorius was right to feel as he did, but the fact of his decision was that, in the midst of one of the most apocalyptic wars Talaria had yet witnessed, a 15-year conflict spanning nearly the entire globe, he had made enemies of all. It was a situation that, for once, his pride could not overcome. Harried by every faction, each of which believed his gang was a dangerous wild card and no better than outlaws, his storied cohort was gradually whittled down until Leorius the Proud fought on alone.
The end of Leorius's tale changes with every teller. Some say the Gallians finally forced him to bend the knee or slew him for his defiance. Others say Carrock did likewise, or that the Sacred Order burned him at the stake. Some say he endured the carnage of the Gallian War and escaped, having somehow shed his old identity. Some say that Leorius swore he would bow to none but the Arbiter herself, and when she appeared to him in a dream and accepted his offer, he left the borders of the known world to wander in search of her.